Hello everyone and welcome to my bold and beautiful today chan. The unimaginable breakup, silence and mistrust lead to Finn's decision to end his relationship with Steffy. Based on surviving kidnappings, near-death experiences, and the terrifying shadow of Sheila Carter, Steffy Forrester and John Finn Finnegan's marriage, which seemed unbreakable at first, is now on the verge of disintegrating. Finn makes the painful choice to dissolve their marriage, a decision that will rock Los Angeles and leave Steffy completely devastated. Why? Not another woman, not an abrupt breakup, but a deep, destructive betrayal Steffy never anticipated, her constant rejection of his intuition, her refusal to believe him when he suggested Sheila Carter might still be alive, and her use of their son Hayes' safety as a weapon to control and silence him. This is more than simply a breakup. It's a proclamation that the man who did all in his power to keep Steffy safe has ultimately been driven away by her trauma-fueled fortress mentality. Steffy has lived in a condition of hard-won, jealously guarded tranquility for months since the burned corpses were found in the alley behind Il Giardino. Sheila Carter, who caused Steffy, her kids, and Finn himself to experience unspeakable fear, was pronounced dead. The case is over. At last, life could proceed. With the zeal of a drowning woman clutching to a life raft, Steffy welcomed this story. It was her defense, her rationale for brutally severing Sheila's bereaved ex-fiancé Deacon Sharp, and her barrier against any rumors that may bring the nightmare back to life. At first relieved, Finn attempted to fit in but was plagued by persistent, unexplainable misgivings. He saw how Steffy's pain blazed like an open wound, and how her fear was evident at the mere mention of Sheila. He witnessed the calm she experienced after concluding that the monster had vanished. In order to preserve their hard-won happiness and Steffy's delicate balance, he buried his discomfort, hushed his inquiries, and publicly supported the official narrative. However, the fissures persisted, gradually growing wider. Deacon's unrelenting, almost compulsive, conviction that Sheila might still be alive, supported by cryptic tidbits of proof and intuition, struck a chord with Finn that he was unable to completely shake. Being a doctor and a man who had personally witnessed Sheila's incredible fortitude, after being shot by her and subsequently coerced, Finn recognized that complete certainty was unattainable. However, each time he hesitantly expressed even the slightest doubt or acknowledged Deacon's right to feel, Steffy responded not with dialogue but with contempt, rage, and finally, a weaponized ultimatum focused on their son, Hayes. This turned into the poisonous pattern, gradually weakening their relationship. The dismissal, Steffy viewed Finn's residual misgivings as a personal betrayal and an insult to her and their family's safety, not merely a disagreement. "You're letting Deacon manipulate you. Sheila is dead, and stop this, Finn," became clichés. Any conversation was cut off before it could start when her tone changed from one of concern to one of disdain. Finn felt as though his personal experiences and professional intuitions were not taken into consideration. His voice was methodically muffled in the one location where it should have been safest. The most damaging blow was the weaponization of Hayes. Whether intentionally or not, Steffy started using their son's safety as leverage against Finn's skepticism. "Is this the environment you want for our son? Do you want to scare Hayes? If you keep this up, you're putting Hayes at risk." These allegations were more than just disagreements, they were charges against the person's character. They portrayed Finn's natural curiosity as a careless risk to their youngster. Finn's fundamental identity as a loving father and protector was undermined by this strategy. It suggested that Hayes was in danger because of his innate caution and need for complete assurance about Sheila, the woman who had actually attempted to kill them all. The emotional extortion was intense and alienating. The isolation, Finn was deliberately separated by Steffy's actions. She pushed him to break off contact with Deacon, the only other individual publicly doubting Sheila's death. Finn found himself more and more alone with his doubts, unable to confide in his wife without inciting her wrath or being accused of treachery, while she prohibited talks with anyone who may corroborate his unease, portraying it as stirring up trouble. In his own marriage, the guy who had supported Steffy through unspeakable darkness suddenly felt alienated and was not allowed to talk about the very experience that had united them. A single, dramatic incident involving Sheila isn't always the breaking point. though Finn's possible sighting or tangible evidence, which Steffy still won't consider, might serve as the impetus. It's more commonly the combined weight of the contempt, the weaponized fear, and the quiet. Picture the scene. He brought up Deacon's most recent notion, which led to another disagreement. Finn, in a low, strained voice, "Steffy, I tried so hard to bury this for you. For us. For Hayes. Then stop digging it up. Why can't you just let us be happy? Why do you insist on bringing her ghost into our home? Do you want Hayes to live in fear?" Steffy said, her eyes flashing and her stance rigid. Finn, a look that is both profound and firm, "That's just it, Steffy. You're the one bringing the fear. Not me questioning, not Deacon grieving. You. Every time you shut me down. Every time you use our son as a weapon to silence me. Every time you look at me like I'm the enemy because I dare to wonder, because I dare to think. Steffy, I'm protecting our family. Something you seem to have forgotten how to do." Finn, with a tear in his eye, "No. You're protecting your version of reality. The one where you never have to face the possibility that maybe, just maybe, the nightmare isn't over. And in doing that, you've stopped protecting us. You've stopped trusting me." "That's not true. Finn," said Steffy. Finn, interrupting, voice cracked but firm, "It is true. You don't trust my judgment. You don't trust my instincts. You don't trust me to be a father who prioritizes our son's safety above all else. You use Hayes as a trump card to win arguments, to control the narrative, to control me. And I can't live like this anymore. I can't be married to someone who sees my caution as a threat and my voice as a danger." Steffy, stunned, incredulousness giving way to a growing fear, "What are you saying?" Finn, taking a deep breath, looking into her eyes with determination, "I'm saying I can't do this. I love you, Steffy. I love Hayes and Kelly with everything I am. But this constant battle, this walking on eggshells, this being treated like my very thoughts are a betrayal, it's destroying me. It's destroying us. I need space. I think we need to separate." The shocking core, the understanding that SHE is the one who orchestrated this split is what will really shock Steffy and leave her reeling. Not another lady, not Finn losing his love, nor Sheila, even if she is still alive. Finn has been turned off by her own behavior, including her incapacity to provide a safe haven for her husband's anxieties, her weaponization of their child, and her utter refusal to consider any story that contradicts her hard-earned sense of security. The ultimate irony is that she repeatedly shoved the man who stood between her and Sheila away in her desperate attempt to keep her out. His desire to make sure they were secure was not merely assumed, rather, it was his deepest form of loyalty, which she misunderstood for treachery. The repercussions, a broken family and a devastated Steffy. Steffy's worldview is shaken, Steffy's whole coping strategy, which includes her brutal repression of any disagreement and her unwavering belief that Sheila will die, collapses. She was more afraid of losing the family she had worked so hard to preserve than she was of Sheila coming back. She has now caused that exact loss by her own acts in an attempt to control the story. There will be waves of denial, anger, and finally crushing remorse after the tremendous shock. Every fight, every dismissal, every time she used Hayes' name to win a point, she will relive it all to discover how Finn came to this devastating conclusion. Finn's tormenting decision, Finn doesn't just up and leave. He loves his kids very much and is incredibly in love with Steffy. Deep self-preservation and a frantic need to regain his agency and voice are the driving forces behind this choice. Even though he understands that staying will result in more serious and damaging harm, he will be horrified by the suffering he is inflicting Steffy and consumed with remorse about the effect he is having on Hayes and Kelly. Grief, loneliness, and dealing with the fallout from putting his own sanity first will all be part of his path. Hope Logan's complicated role, Hope, who already has empathy for Deacon, and may have some secret reservations about Sheila, ends up being Finn's unusual confidant. She is aware of being suppressed and complex familial dynamics. Steffy's isolation and paranoia will be exacerbated by this growing connection, which she will perceive as more betrayal and evidence of a plot against her tranquility. Deacon's vindication and new friend. After being shunned and mocked, Deacon finds a strong, surprising ally in Finn. Finn's conviction lends Deacon legitimacy that he sorely lacked and validates his goal. Their mutual quest to learn the truth about Sheila, which began with Finn's divorce, grows into a powerful force. This alliance will be viewed by Steffy as the ultimate betrayal, evidence that Finn has put Sheila's world ahead of his family. The children in the crossfire. This adult conflict results in Hayes and Kelly being innocent victims. It will be difficult to explain the split, make custody arrangements, and protect them from the resentment. Steffy will probably continue to tell the kids that Finn is unstable and preoccupied, which will make him even more resentful. The Sheila factor. If Sheila is still alive and observing, her final triumph is Finn's separation from Steffy. Due in part to Steffy's own trauma reaction and in part to Sheila's lingering shadow, Steffy's worst nightmare, losing her family, comes true. Sheila might take advantage of the gap, possibly taking advantage of Finn's weakness or making fun of Steffy for her victory. Fury between Ridge and Taylor. The Forrester clan will unite around Steffy. Ignorant of Steffy's part in keeping Finn quiet, Ridge and Taylor will be upset with him, seeing his obsession as the reason for the split. They will probably put more pressure on Steffy to fight for full custody, which will intensify the dispute. A split created by unhealed injuries. Finn's choice to end his relationship with Steffy is based on a lack of trust and respect rather than a lack of love. The way Steffy's unresolved pain and frantic need for control manifested into actions that smothered her marriage is shockingly indicting. The terrible knowledge that she forced him to this point is the cause that will make Steffy gasp. An atmosphere where love could not thrive was produced by her contempt, her rage, and, most destructively, her use of their son as an emotional weapon against her husband. This breakup is a tragedy that resulted from fear and silence. It serves as a sobering reminder that unresolved issues and unhealthy coping strategies can often pose a greater threat to a partnership than an outside monster. Finn's departure is a tragic statement that even the strongest love cannot flourish without mutual trust and the ability to utter the unthinkable. It is also a desperate move of self-preservation. Any possible reunion appears to be a long and difficult road that requires Steffy to face her own part in their demise, a realization that is far more horrifying to her than Sheila Carter's ghost. Shin's marriage is altered by Liam's sacrifice for Steffy. Viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful are in for an exciting summer, and there may soon be an unexpected coupling change. Spoilers. Will Tracy's shocking revelation about Drew and Nina's affair revolutionize custody decisions? Suggested content. Shockwave. Is cloning Dalton's secret project? Liesl returns with Britt and Nathan. Will Liam Spencer show Steffy Forrester how much he loves her in a way that Dr. Finn can't match? Find out what happens next on the CBS soap opera by reading on. Liam's shocking chemotherapy. It's no secret that Liam Spencer still has a deep affection for Steffy Forrester. Because Liam is dying, even Dr. John Finnegan chooses to ignore it even though he is aware of it. The good doctor ought to be worried if Liam suddenly changes his mind and decides to have chemotherapy at the last minute. Even if receiving therapy could save his life or allow him to spend more time with his loved ones, Liam has made it obvious on The Bold and the Beautiful that he is not interested in doing so. However, Steffy's ex-husband is worried about Luna Nozawa's upcoming attack. Liam understands that he might not be able to shield her from Luna as he would if he passes away and puts Finn in charge. If Steffy's life were in jeopardy, Liam would not think twice about shooting Luna, but Finn could find it difficult to do so since she is his daughter. Steffy can lose her life as a result of his hesitation. Liam's death and departure from the soap opera are not hinted at in any B&B spoilers. It's reasonable to suppose that he eventually receives treatment unless he miraculously recovers. It might be considered the ultimate sacrifice if Liam endures the abuse he fears in order to remain and defend the wife of another man. Is Steffy Forrester falling in love with Liam again? Will Steffy Forrester abandon Finn and end their marriage because she is so affected by Liam's chemotherapy sacrifice? Will she choose to live her life with someone who protects her rather than someone who puts her in danger all the time? Following Sheila's rescue of Steffy from Luna, Finn's 5-word shock according to spoilers and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful, John Finn Finnegan may say 5 startling things with Sheila Sharp's help. Suggested content. The Bold and the Beautiful is where Electra Forrester's days are counted. Suggested content. BMB spoilers, Steffy keeps Ridge in line by using his medical proxy. Sheila appears ready to take action and save Steffy Forrester from Luna Nozawa. Sheila has discovered something unsettling about her granddaughter. As viewers of the CBS soap opera are aware, Sheila has come to a startling conclusion about Finn's love child daughter Luna. Sheila was first totally focused on building a relationship with her granddaughter, but she has since come to see that Luna is a serious threat. When they first met, Sheila wishes she had invited Luna to remain instead of sending her go. Sheila is genuinely afraid of what Luna might do because of the threats she has been making about Steffy. Luna has even purchased a rifle and has been pointing it at a photo of Steffy, demonstrating how serious she is about her plans. Luna will take some risky actions that could endanger Steffy's life. It's clear that Luna plans to do some daring things that could endanger Steffy. As tensions increase, Sheila will grow more nervous and might feel pressured to intervene. Sheila may directly intervene to save Steffy, even leaping in front of Finn's wife to shield her from Luna. Furthermore, if Finn or even Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, happens to be in the right location at the right time, Sheila may warn him. After Sheila warns Liam at Il Giardino or something, it's easy to imagine him rushing back to the Cliff House. Liam would be the protagonist in this scenario, but Sheila would also deserve praise for helping him get to safety. It appears that the show is leaning towards Sheila's prompt intervention. At this point, the CBS soap opera is embracing Sheila's new role and favoring her prompt involvement to prevent what may otherwise be a deadly ending. When Finn and Steffy discovered that Sheila had been putting pressure on Luna to leave the region recently, they were taken aback. Steffy and Finn were even more shocked when Ridge Forrester gave them details about Sheila defending Electra Forrester against Luna. Sheila had already saved the life of Kelly Spencer, Sophia Parras, during that horrific beach event, and it appears that she may be able to save Steffy's life as well. Finn may say 5 shocking words that will change Sheila's life. At the end of it all, once Steffy is safe from Luna, Finn may say 5 unexpected words that could change the fate of his biological mother. Perhaps Sheila has genuinely transformed. Might this be the turning point that allows Finn to have a sincere relationship with Sheila and possibly win Steffy over? If Sheila is helping to ensure her survival, will Steffy allow this relationship? Steffy couldn't understand that Sheila didn't have any hidden agendas, despite the fact that she was aware that she had saved Kelly's life that day at the beach. Whatever the case, spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Steffy and Finn may encounter more issues in the future, so keep an eye out for what's next. A family's suffering and a doctor's dilemma are at stake in Liam's life. It's possible that Liam Spencer's shaky tightrope, which he is always walking, between Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester, tormented by remorse, and driven by a frantic urge to make things right, finally broke, sending him into a depths of darkness that go far beyond romantic ambivalence. A terrifying scenario is revealed by explosive spoilers. Liam's life is in grave jeopardy, and his existence depends critically on his doctor. This is more than just a medical emergency, it has the potential to be a watershed moment for the entire canvas, bringing up conflicts, uncovering secrets, and pushing the brittle ties of a broken family to their breaking point. The question is not just whether Liam will live, but also how he got to this point and how the choices made in the antiseptic hospital hallways will change everyone's life forever. From indecision to catastrophe, the catalyst. Several intersecting threads, each full with dramatic potential, might lead Liam to imminent danger. The repercussions of Finn's departure and Steffy's despair. Liam, ever the self-appointed guardian, would unavoidably rush to Steffy's side as she reeled from Finn's startling decision to leave her, citing her weaponization of Hayes and dismissive of his Sheila concerns. His lingering feelings and his attempts to comfort her could make for an explosive combination. Imagine a distressed Steffy, overcome with sadness and rage, making a careless choice, possibly putting herself in danger while driving. Liam might take the full of the blow in a terrible vehicle accident while attempting to help or shield her. His instinct to save Steffy has caused his life to now dangle by a thread. Taking on Bill's unraveling, since his stroke, Bill Spencer has become more unstable and obsessed with bringing Steam back to life. He is turned into a ticking time bomb. It appears that the father and son will have a violent altercation. Bill might strike out physically in a blind anger driven by frustration at Liam's alleged frailty or envy over Steffy. A dispute near a balcony, a shove down steps, or a blow to the head with a heavy item could cause catastrophic damage. Bill's desperate behavior might actually endanger his son's life. Mental health breakdown. Liam has a well-documented history of anxiety and sadness, especially after the Beth discovery. A serious psychiatric crisis might be brought on by the mounting stress of seeing Steffy's marriage fail, his own complex emotions returning, the ongoing conflict with Hope over Thomas, and Bill's growing instability. This could show up as a desperate act of self-harm brought on by intense remorse and feelings of failure, or it could show up as a dissociative episode that results in a tragic accident. His own mental breakdown poses a greater threat to his life than any outside force. The Luna Deacon-Sheila tangle, wild card. Although not as closely related, Liam might unintentionally become a victim of the growing Luna Deacon-Sheila mystery. Maybe he finds himself in the middle of a deadly conflict, attempts to mediate it, and ends himself in the crossfire. Alternatively, if Sheila is still alive and believes Liam is preventing her from getting back together with Finn or Hayes, she may plan an accident. The physician, keeper of life, carrier of weights. Crucial to the struggle and ethical complexity are the identification of the doctor who is deciding Liam's fate. One of the most explosive possibilities is Dr. John Finn Finnegan. There is an intolerable amount of tension because Finn is the trauma surgeon or neurologist treating Liam, fresh off of leaving Steffy and possibly already suspicious in the eyes of the Forresters. Is it possible for Steffy, who is saddened and angry with Finn, to have faith in him to save the guy she once loved, and possibly still harbors complicated feelings for? Given that Steffy is observing Liam's every action and pointing the finger at him, can Finn put aside his own struggles in order to provide the best care possible? The personal stakes are emotional destruction, the professional stakes are life and death. Finn's broken relationship will be used as a prism to examine every medical choice he makes. His emotional state is delicate, but his competence is undeniable. Could his judgment be affected by guilt for leaving Steffy? Or push him to prove himself by superhuman means? Dr. Bridget Forrester. Bridget is a steady, seasoned hand in her role as chief of staff. Her familial ties give it a significant emotional impact. Liam is like a brother to her. This guarantees that his care is given first priority, but it also puts a great deal of personal strain on him. Will she be able to make the most difficult decisions while maintaining her clinical distance? An additional depth is added by her past relationships with Brooke, Ridge, and Bill. How does she handle the unavoidable expectations and meddling from Bill? Given that Brooke views Liam as just another kid, how can she break the bad news about him to her mother? Bridget is a symbol of talent and compassion, but her intimacy with the family is a vulnerability as much as a strength. A returning or new figure, bringing back a figure like Dr. Escobar, who may have an unresolved past, or introducing a talented but morally dubious surgeon could give a sense of mystery. Does this physician have a plan? A link to Bill's previous transgressions? Or to Sheila? Do they really have Liam's best interests in mind? The tension and anxiety regarding Liam's care are increased by this predicament. Dr. Lee Finnegan, although less likely to be the chief surgeon, Lee might be engaged in administration or diagnosis. If Finn is the primary doctor, her presence can lead to disputes with him and exacerbate Steffy's hatred, seeing all Finns as corrupt. Her practicality could not align with the family's sentimental appeals. The tormenting choices and ethical dilemma. Due to Liam's poor condition, painful decisions must be made. High-risk life-saving surgery. The doctor may have to perform an operation that could save Liam's life, but there is a considerable risk of fatalities or severe brain damage. Does the doctor continue to gamble with Liam's soul? What are the opinions of Brooke, Bill, Steffy, and Hope? Does Bill disregard medical advice and demand the dangerous procedure out of desperation? Do Steffy's feelings of remorse prevent her from making a decision? The pull-the-plug dilemma. the doctor might give Liam the sobering diagnosis that he would never regain consciousness or meaningful function if he has serious, irreparable brain damage. After that, the family must make the unimaginable choice to remove life support. As a result, Hope, Steffy, Bill, and Brooke are forced to face their regrets, their meanings of life and mercy, and their relationships with Liam. A legal and emotional battle may result from Bill's unwillingness to let go. Organ donation question. The issue of organ donation comes up if Liam is deemed brain dead. This could lead to unresolved anger or conflict amongst family members with differing beliefs. Additionally, it provides Liam with a heartbreaking, yet bittersweet legacy, the final act of helping others, even in death. Conflicts of interest and pressure. The doctor is under a lot of pressure, particularly if it's Finn or Bridget. With his riches and influence, Bill Spencer might bribe or threaten the doctor to get a certain result. The professional dynamic might be twisted if Steffy begs Finn to save Liam as evidence that he still cares. While Brooke encourages prudence, Hope may argue for aggressive therapy. The doctor must uphold their oath while negotiating this minefield. The hidden condition. What if, while treating Liam, the doctor finds something surprising? An unidentified illness that caused or exacerbated the crisis, such as an aneurysm or brain tumor? This information might change who is responsible, change the course of events, and change how the family views Liam's recent actions. The death of the family at the bedside. Liam's hospital room turns into a furnace for intense feelings and lingering disputes. Hope versus Steffy, their common past and nuanced feelings for Liam return, bound solely by their fear of him. Are they blaming one another? Steffy's drama could be seen by Hope as the trigger. Steffy may dislike having Hope around. Their brief truce could end over rights to bedside vigils or treatment decisions. Bill's decline into madness. Bill's already shaky hold on reality may completely collapse in the face of the possible death of his kid. He might become angry with the physicians, blame Steffy or Hope for this, or make rash commitments to a Liam who is unconscious. His behavior can become dangerously erratic. Brooke's maternal anguish. Liam has always been family to Brooke. She will be devastated to see him close to death. As she struggles with her own loss and fears for Ridge, if implicated, and her daughters, she takes on the role of emotional anchor, attempting to mediate between Hope, Steffy, and a furious Bill. Ridge and Taylor are forced to help their daughter while juggling the problems in the Spencer family after becoming entangled in Steffy's predicament. Another tense aspect is added by Ridge's past relationship with Bill. They might aggravate Bill even more or provide Steffy with much-needed assistance. If Finn is the doctor, he works under unfathomable pressure and scrutiny, is separated from Steffy, and may even be held accountable by the Forresters. Every medical decision he makes is viewed from a personal perspective. Losing Liam would validate Steffy's worst charges, and saving him might not win him forgiveness. The children, in the middle of the mayhem, Kelly and Beth turn into tragic representations of purity. It turns into a secondary, heartbreaking struggle to explain their father's danger, protect them from the worst, and guarantee their stability. Life after the precipice, the impact of the ripple. The ramifications are profound, regardless of Liam's survival. If Liam survives, physical rehabilitation, possible cognitive impairments, or psychological trauma may all be part of his protracted and difficult recovery. His connections and character would be drastically changed by this. Would the waffling finish at last? Would he become dependent on Steffy or Hope? Would he be angry with Bill? He might undergo significant change as a result of his near-death experience, or it might put him in a new position of vulnerability.